was your last bus. And then you think you want something new. Yeah. Sun set in my mind. See, someone said they would die for me. They sold some more pictures and all my little memories. Chump change just to unravel the mystery. Life is no fun without fantasy. Some things are better left unsaid, and some people are better left untrusted. Maybe it all makes sense when I'm dead.
Oh, that song. So many of you have asked me. It was one of those little jewels that was dropped into my inbox by what I like to call my iPod gnomes or my fairies, who know that I need particular tracks, and they do their best to make sure that when things are not commercially available or are rare, that I get them, because they know I'll share them and try and spread joy. But yeah, for this one, it was a whole redo of Parade, based on interludes from Under the Cherry Moon and the songs that were released and weren't released. So it was all kinds of stuff, a whole album.
Well, I mean, there are tons of Prince bootlegs, especially from that period.
Indeed.
And, you know, I got my Prince shirt on.
Yes, I see you are wearing your official in loving memory.
Well, I don't know how official it was. I got in the street, but you know, brother
our folks
officially
are always enterprising, right? When it comes
officially
to
made it in tribute. But officially they just announced the track listing for the Purple Rain reissue.
Oh, okay.
And there's going to be the first disc is the classic soundtrack, as we all know. The second disc is going to be all the single mixes, 7-inch, 12-inch.
I was going to say, are we going? Because Amir asked this question on his Instagram yesterday. Is it going to include the official 12-inch of 17 Days?
I'll pull it up in a second. But then the third disc is going to be all unreleased things from that same time period, including the Father's song that you hear, you get like a little snippet of in the movie, but was never on any release or anything like that. So people, you know,
they're trying to take all my money, y'all.
Yeah, Donald Cleveland. So it's going to be a 3-disc set. And then it was rumored at the time that they're going to reissue the Purple Rain box set, which is going to be the first in a series of reissues that Warner Brothers controls. That they were also going to release 2 live concert DVDs from the same period.
So you know, not that we want to be specters of death on this first anniversary, but this whole idea of the legal rights, and as they manifest themselves, what that's going to make available to those people who are the diehard Prince fans in our listening audience becomes that much more of a situation.
Well, I mean, as you remember, like a year ago, you know, Prince was on a renaissance. Like he had made a deal to do a memoir, and he had inked this deal to put things out through Warner, and you know, to sort of, maybe it wasn't up to him to decide how to go about the vault or whatever. So I mean, so on the edits and extended mixes, 7-inch When Doves Cry, 7-inch B-side edit of 17 Days, B-side edit of Erotic City.
I was going to say, those of you who are going to be joining us on Facebook Live, you will see my facial expressions about this 7-inch mess, because those were already available. We want the stuff we didn't have.
12-inch. All right, so yeah, I don't see 17 Days 12-inch mix on the set, but I do see from the vault 11-minute 29-second version of the Dance Electric, which is his original version of the Andre Simone 5-minute unreleased song called Love and Sex. Computer Blue Hallway Speech version, Velvet Kitty Cat unreleased recording, Katrina's Paper Dolls, Weekend F, you know, I guess it's like the original version of Weekend
Until
Funk.
the Dawn, yes.
That was on, which was
Erotic
on Graffiti Bridge, Weekend Funk. There's a George Clinton song on Graffiti Bridge soundtrack. So this is the original version of that.
Okay.
Electric Intercourse Studio version, Our Destiny, Roadhouse Garden, Possessed, Wonderful,
A lot of stuff we don't know.
Yeah, and then Father's Song, which is considered the Holy Grail.
Well, I was going to say that. Now that's worth the price of admission. Mm-hmm. But all right, Warner Brothers. I'm just saying, on behalf of some of the diehard Prince fans and our listening audience, there are certain things that were never released for whatever the commercial decision making was that we want. 12-inch of 17 Days is one of them. They released the 7-inch version on the hits and B-sides box set. I had the 45 when it was first released. So,
It could be a space issue, but maybe on a digital version or a download version, they can include things like that.
We shall see.
And all remastered from the original tape, supposedly by Brady Grudman, who's like the original remaster of that. But I know we have somebody on the line, right?
We do, indeed. So Prince fans, we'll be revisiting this conversation as we proceed in this hour of Reelblack Radio this week. But right now, we want to welcome Karen McMullen onto our airwaves. She is one of the organizers of the New Voices in Black Cinema Film Festival that will be taking place next weekend at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. So for those of you like Mike D, who love traveling between Philly and New York in particular, in order to check out these wonderful compilations of our cultural heritage, especially on the big screen, then you definitely need to know more about this upcoming festival, because it includes a film that has quite a bit to say about WURD as well. So good morning, Karen. Welcome to the station.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. And I'm a big Prince head myself, so I don't mind sharing the air with the purple one.
Yes.
Well, we are glad to hear that. And tell us a little bit about the origins of the New Voices in Black Cinema Festival.
Okay, so New Voices in Black Film Festival, in Black Cinema, is a film festival that takes place every spring in Brooklyn. This year it's running from April 26th to the 30th. And we run in conjunction with BAM, Brooklyn Community. Okay, let me get it together. Brooklyn Academy of Music, which is BAM. Mm-hmm. It's in downtown Brooklyn, which is in Fort Greene. Yeah. So this is our 7th year, and we're produced by the Act Now Foundation, which is a nonprofit theater and film production company. So yeah, we'll be there for a long weekend, and we hope that many of you can come out.
Indeed. Well, one of the reasons why, we at WURD are excited about this year's festival and about the films that you've selected for screening is that one of them is titled Quest, and it talks about one of our on-air personalities, Chris Rainey, who also is a contributor to or co-host of New World View that airs here on Sunday evenings. And many of us were familiar with the really tragic story of his daughter's shooting and how that's impacted his family, our greater community, this ongoing conversation we have about violence in our community and what we're going to do to resolve it. But we're glad to know that he's gotten such a buzz on his film in a variety of different capacities, and it will now be screening in your festival as well.
Yes, it will. I saw Quest I was in Sundance Film Festival in January, looking at films because it's what I like to do, but also looking for films to bring back to New Voices. And I was in the audience of Quest. One of the producers is a dear friend of mine, a fantastic filmmaker named Sabrina Gordon, who was also one of the producers on Bad Sonia Sanchez.
Ah, yes.
I'm sure you all know about.
Yes.
And I'm watching this film and falling in love with the tenderness and the warmth and the intimacy of the story. And there was a scene of him on the station at WURD, which was just tickled me because Sarah Lomax is actually a very good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. So it turns out it was a fantastic film. It was a darling of the film festival. Chris and his family were out for Q&A afterwards, and it was just wonderful to see how moving it was and how the audience responded to their lives and their story.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's fantastic. So the festival kicks off at BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music, on Wednesday with 2 other films, another Sundance film, and then a film by a friend of ours, Matthew Cherry. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Can you talk about Nine Rides and Sinking Sands?
Yep, Nine Rides will be there as well. Nine Rides was that film was also at the Pan-African Film Festival. There's, as you know, Michael, there's a lot of black film festivals around. And also Burning Sands, which is directed by one of the producers of Fruitvale Station, Gerard Murray. And it's somewhat controversial because it takes us inside. It's a narrative film, but it takes us inside Hell Week, the hazing week on a black fraternity and fictitious black college campus. And the lead of the story is grappling with maintaining the code of silence that, you know, pledgees, you know, our line brothers have to maintain. And dealing with the ethical question of the escalating violence that's going on as part of this underground hazing. And so it brings up a lot of questions about, you know, the legacy of black fraternities and all of their importance and so much, you know, the black frats and sororities give to our community, but also, you know, if it's necessary that all this, you know, brutality take place. So there will be question and answer afterwards, and there will be some Black Greeks there to facilitate that, so I'm sure it'll be a lively discussion.
No, that movie has caused quite a bit of controversy already. We've talked about it a little bit on the air, but I mean, yeah, I've gone up. I mean, what's great about BAM? It sort of cherry picks the best of what Black independent filmmakers have to offer from year after year. So.
Yeah, it does, and you know there are a lot of black film festivals, and all of them have slightly different missions. All of them, I believe, noble. Overall, we're concerned with showcasing works by and about black people, stories you don't usually see. You know, we know that we are multifaceted, multidimensional people, and we tend to get one or 1.5 dimensions of our humanity portrayed on film as a rule. That's changing a little bit. You know, I'm happy to see, you know, Moonlight and The 13th and some of these other films getting wider spread release. But you know, we still have work to do, and New Voices concentrates on quality over commerciality, and, you know, talent over hype, you know. So it's a small film festival, and it's curated, meaning, you know, we go out and we kind of handpick what we think are the best or the newest or the most innovative or thought-provoking films to show our audience.
And let's talk about that for a little bit, because I think, you know, we have plenty of people here in our listening audience that have been patronizing Black Star Film Festival here in Philadelphia, and we appreciate the work that goes into finding these films and showcasing them in the way that film festivals do. But it is no small task to watch a bunch of films and think about how you're going to create a program that showcases what it is that you would like to make sure is emphasized from these up and coming filmmakers, because, you know, in stark contrast to the strictly Hollywood studio days, there are a lot of people out here who are buying their own equipment and are making these films now with all different kinds of consumer, easily accessible consumer materials. And so that means that, you know, this decision-making process has got to be a lot more involved these days.
You're right about that. There is a lot more content, which I think is a blessing, because, you know, the means of production have come down so much. When I started working in film, I started years ago. I used to work on Spike Lee films and back in the day. And when you're shooting on film and you're editing on film, the costs are prohibitive, you know. But nowadays, people, you know, you say you can shoot a movie on your iPhone, and you kind of almost can, and download some free software and edit. So, you know, people are creating their own stuff, which is great. And it means there's more stuff to go through. So I also work as a screener for several film festivals, so I have gotten the chance to look at a lot of the submissions to film festivals. And film festivals only have a couple slots to let, to showcase films, and so there's always a lot of good stuff that doesn't get in. So luckily I was able to pick up a couple films that, you know, were fantastic but just didn't quite make the cut for various film festivals, and they're getting to have their day in the sun during our festival.
Yeah, so Karen, speak to, I mean, besides Quest, I mean, what are some movies that you're excited about? There's 12 features being shown.
Yep, there's 12 features being shown. There's a film called In a Perfect World, which is an intimate documentary about the dynamics of boys being raised by single mothers. It's a fantastic topic. It's done by a documentary filmmaker named Daphne McWilliams, and that'll be co-presented with a local organization that does work with families and trying to maintain the father-child bond throughout. So that's one of the things I love about film festivals. It's not just the movies; it's the connecting a topic to the larger issues in the community and giving people a chance to reach out, donate if the causes merit that, or connect with the filmmaker and be in action, not just to watch the movie and be moved and eat your popcorn and go home, but to move the ball forward a bit.
And that's Sunday at 2 p.m. Yeah, do you have one more? We're up against the break, but one more that people need to check out.
Oh, I would say the shorts program, because you get a lot of bang for your buck. There's some short documentaries about tap dancers. There's animated pieces that are fantastic. There's some funny stuff. There's a tribute to the people who've been slain by police. There's just a whole lot, and you see the emerging talent of these young filmmakers in these shorts. So I highly recommend the shorts program. There are 2 of them.
Yeah, there's a shorts program on Saturday as well as on Sunday. So yeah, I mean, and for people to get the information, where can they go?
You would go to bam.org/New Voices. And there's you just buy individual tickets. Tickets are $14 for individuals, $7 for groups. And there are also some panels, a documentary panel and an actors panel and a producing panel that take place in conjunction with the film festival. So there's a lot going on. Hope to see a lot of people up there.
Indeed, and we should let our WURD listeners know in particular that Quest is going to screen on Saturday, and Sarah's been invited to introduce the film to the festival audience. So we'll be continuing to maintain that WURD connection to the subject matter and just the fact that the film highlights the station and one of our on-air personalities and the connectedness to this ongoing dilemma that we really do need to resolve in our community.
Yeah, there are actually 2 screenings. One, there's one on Thursday and then Saturday, Sarah's going to be there. So.
Indeed. So for all of you in our listening audience that are down for next weekend, making a trip, by car, by train, by bus, as we do, between Philadelphia and New York City, this is a wonderful film festival that we want everybody to be aware of, to engage with, and certainly support the filmmakers themselves, the stories they are telling. And Karen, as organizer, thank you so much for joining us on the air today to let us know more about it.
Thanks so much. Take care.
You too.
Happy Princess Day.
Thanks. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the New Voices in Black Cinema Film Festival, April 26th through the 30th at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. You can go to bam.org for more information and to purchase those tickets. And again, the film Quest, which features Chris Rainey of New World View on Sunday evenings here on WURD, will screen once on Thursday and again on Saturday. And the Saturday screening will feature an introduction by our President and CEO Sarah Lomax Reese. So make sure you
gotta get those tickets now because that's gonna sell out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a Sundance hit.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our next break and we'll come back and talk more Black film and TV on today's edition of Real Black Radio after this.
Hey girl, it's good to see you. How's your home daycare going?
It's going great, except I've reached capacity and I don't have the money to expand to a commercial location. I went to the bank, but I had credit challenges. Even though the bills are paid now, my score is too low to qualify.
Girl, you need to visit WPFSI.com.
What's that?
The West Philadelphia Financial Services Institution. It's a community lender. They provide loans to businesses, but they don't just look at your credit score. Since you have an existing business, you can demonstrate the ability to pay back a loan.
Well, how do I get started?
Complete the pre-assessment online and a loan officer will give you a call.
What's that web address?
It's WPFSI.com. Just remember, it's the initials for a West Philadelphia Financial Services Institution.
I'm going to fill out that pre-assessment right now.
Wait, I thought we were going to get our nails done.
Sorry, girl. My second location is calling. I gotta go.
Is your second location calling? Visit the website WPFSI.com or give us a call 215-452-0100. WPFSI, your neighborhood lender.
Family Therapy Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille Ijoy. Could you use a little practice in good old-fashioned intentional breathing? Let's try this exercise right here and right now. This is Family Therapy Vignette on breathing. Number 1, slowly breathe in. Feel your lungs expand. Your blood is oxygenated, infused with energy. Hold your breath for 3 seconds. Slowly breathe out. Your body releases carbon dioxide. That is no longer needed. This is cleansing throughout. Let's repeat that. Slowly breathe in. Feel your lungs expand. Your blood is oxygenated. Hold your breath. Slowly breathe out. Your body releases carbon dioxide that is no longer needed. When you want a better atmosphere in your household and your relationships with the children and your significant others, learn to breathe intentionally. Practice this exercise prayerfully as you go along. Breathe.
Science comes alive with the Philadelphia Science Festival, April 21st through the 29th. Have fun and get nerdy at this 9-day festival, packed with events celebrating the power of science and technology. With more than 80 events citywide, there's something for everyone. Organized by the Franklin Institute and presented by Dow. Learn more at philasciencefestival.org.
Hi, I'm Hilary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
You are listening to The Mojo on 900 AM WURD. Embrace and explore your black magic.
The soundtrack that basically set a standard for sales, for thoughtfulness about how we're going to sell black films and black music. Love Jones. That is Kenny Lattimore with a song titled Can't Get Enough. And, you know, you think back to the fact that we're celebrating anniversaries of films like this and the impact that they had on our community. And now... And we're talking about a major studio film, and the conversation around black film has transformed so much over the last 20 years that it's just kind of amazing to me about how far we've come, and yet some of the things that we still talk about in terms of all the stories that need to be told, and how we find the resources and support to get these stories out to people and really share in that conversation. Yeah,
well, it's an interesting thing that's happening right now because as we mentioned in the previous segment, because of the technology, it's cheaper to make stories, and then also the way stories are being told. You know, with all these devices and different outlets. I mean, when they broke that prism, it shattered, and there's just an incessant need for content. So it became less about if it's 3 networks, then they're all fighting to have the highest rating at one time. But now it's just about views. How many eyeballs can you get in front of it? Now, don't get it twisted. It's all about advertising and selling stuff. So, so when you see things that you like, you have to not only just tweet about them and support them, but support the advertisers. But so now, especially this year, there's a convergence of things where not only have we gotten to, I wouldn't say, well, we've been there for a while, a little tipping point in terms of the amount of talent working in front of and behind the camera of color. Yeah. As well as the incessant need for product. We're starting to see stories that we've been deprived of. Yeah. So one of them specifically comes on tomorrow on HBO. The Henrietta Lacks story with Oprah.
And so, for those of you who have been keeping up, and shout out to those of you who are checking us out on Facebook Live, the Henrietta Lacks story is one where when the initial book was written, there were so many people who I encountered who were really angry that they didn't know this story.
Yes.
And the whole conversation about, our rightful fear and suspicion as a Black community of medical research being done on us, the DNA testing, there's so many conversations that go on about what are they going to do with this information.
Yeah, so,
and the idea that our whole, basically biopharma industry has at some point benefited from the research that has been done on this one woman's cancer cells.
Right. Yeah. So this woman, she died at age 31 in the 50s, and they've basically used her DNA for years, decades to create medicines
replicating it in test tubes for decades in order to continue this research.
So there's a book about it done at Johns Hopkins, and there's a book about it now. It's a movie, Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, with Oprah Winfrey, directed by George C. Wolfe. It premieres tomorrow at 8 p.m. on HBO.
Yes, and so for those of you who are theater nerds, George C. Wolfe was the creator of a piece called The Colored Museum, and has since worked on Bringing the Noise, Bringing the Funk, and any number of stories that involve people of color and making their way to Broadway and uplifting us and celebrating us in all kinds of ways.
So it's really like if you talk about intellectual property, DNA and code and all that stuff, people are trying to copyright these codes, and hundreds of millions of dollars have been made off of this woman's cells, in terms of the research and everything. So, but what's interesting to me, reading interviews, I've not read reviews about it. I'm looking forward to it. It's just the powerhouse of George C. Wolfe attacking this issue, and really, I think what he's saying is it's going to be a little bit different than some of the other depictions of Black life in that time, because a lot of it is just about the oppression. But he said he set out specifically to show like how survival, what were the tools of survival throughout the oppression, and then also the fact that we're looking at things in retrospect. At the time, if somebody says it was Jim Crow, so if somebody said like we're just going to take these cells, there was no question about it. There were no rights.
And the fact. To me, this brings up a really interesting kind of point of our society right now about information, what we feel we have access to, and righteous indignation on behalf of an entire community, right? Because there are a lot of people who were really angry for this family and, said, well, they need to get paid. And the family has been presented with lots of opportunities to, try and cash in, quote unquote, on this. And that hasn't been the family's primary goal. They really wanted to understand how this happened, kind of walk them through the process and everything else. And so, this spills over into another subject that I'm not going to tackle till Monday. But the whole idea of how we as a society, because of our access to this information now, project a lot onto the individuals who are directly affected by some of these things that are going on.
It's sort of like the Eddie Murphy Delirious took out, I wish somebody would make me a slave. So it's a different time. But what's great about this film, and the fact it's on HBO, now HBO is not they've done stories like this before. Miss Evers' Boys.
That's right.
Was a HBO film, and Something the Lord Had Made.
Exactly. That's the one I couldn't think of. Yes, with Mos Def and Alan Rickman.
Yeah. So they're great at uncovering these great hidden histories and telling it in a human way. So and
they did the first Tuskegee Airmen film.
Yes.
Which was better than Red Tails.
Well,
just one woman's opinion.
That's not hard to do. I could get some model airplanes in a bathtub.
We're not trying to scandalize it. I just want I jokingly said
give me the money, George Lucas.
Because we just expected more from George Lucas. But the original HBO film, The Tuskegee Airmen, starred Cuba Gooding Jr. and
Lawrence Fishburne,
Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yeah. There were a lot of very familiar faces. I have it on VHS, so that's how long ago it was made. But it was just really well done. It was sensitively done, and still highlighted the discrimination that these guys had to willingly go into battle for the United States, and all the discrimination that they were facing here. Yeah. And it was tenderly told, and it was it gave honor to the sacrifice of those fighters.
Yeah, and shout out to Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yes.
The loss of his dad yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but also if you don't have HBO but you have Amazon Prime, now's the time to go right now and check out In the Morning.
Yes.
Which is Nefertiti and Guvu's long-awaited debut feature. We've screened it several times. Screened at Black Star. We screened it. It's coming back to Philly with another theatrical screening in May.
Nice.
Hosted by Maori. And, it's a great indie film that examines sort of love and relationships and
ensemble casting
in Boho, Brooklyn, shop Arthur Jaffa.
I feel like I'm projecting that today. I feel like I'm projecting a little Boho, Brooklyn.
You got the purple on. I just noticed that. It's very deliberate.
Yes,
you're glowing with it. So so that's In the Morning on Amazon Prime, and then if you're in Philadelphia tonight or tomorrow, I just found out about this morning. The University of Penn Cinema Studies is hosting the Wolf 2017 Symposium for African Film and Media. It's free and open to the public.
Oh, everybody likes that. Free.
Tonight at 5:30, it kicks off with a free opening reception at 5:30, and then at 7 p.m. there's a screening of two films, one called Crop and one called The Tunnel. These are African films. And then on Saturday, all day, or from 10:30 to 12, there is a panel discussion at the Van Pelt Library with Louis Messiah as one of the panelists.
Nice.
And, all day, just talking about black film from 3 to 5:30, a panel on Nollywood, so it's a symposium for those who are interested in continue the Pan-African dialogue in terms of film. There'll be a lot of film experts and things like that. So you can go to the university. I'll put it on my website, but also the University of Pennsylvania Cinema Studies website as well.
Excellent.
And then can't do an episode of Real Black Radio without talking about Ava DuVernay. This woman works so hard.
It's not a bad thing.
Every week.
So she's in the Time 100.
Time 100. She's already in the Fortune Most Influential People.
Yes.
And this week she, the 13th, won a Peabody Award.
Yay!
Which is it's one of those things that Bill O'Reilly wishes he had. But, but Ava's got one. The movie Trapped, we talked to the filmmaker for Trapped. Dawn Porter. Mavis, the documentary, we had her on the TV show, the documentary about Mavis Staples. It was on HBO.
Yes.
Give me some free HBO for that. And OJ Made in America also won Peabody Awards.
Yes. Well, it's been a good year. We have 4 black Pulitzer winners that were announced just last week. And so, a lot of this high quality black culture is being recognized this year, and we're excited about that.
It's never stopping. It just keeps flowing like a river. Rachel Dolezal's got a book out.
Stop it! You really want me to throw the remaining hot tea that I have.
Also in Ava DuVernay news, it's been announced that Queen Sugar's coming back with this
season
2 two-night premiere event in June 20th and 21st. Now this is, we'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk about it in June, but I'm excited because Philly's own Cheryl Dunye is one of the directors, all women directors on Queen Sugar.
For the second season.
Yeah, Demaine Davis, who made an excellent film called Lift. Kerry Washington's first starring role. She was in Our Song, but this is like her first leading role.
Okay.
We showed it, and Domain Skyped in. Really great film. So, I mean, she's been doing commercials and advertising stuff, but she's back into the realm of a commercial, narrative stuff. Kat Candler, who's back, and Aurora Guerrero, and then Amanda Marsalis, who directed Echo Park, which we showed a little while ago. So,
well, I mean, the commitment that Ava has made to giving women directors a voice, which is such a rare commodity in commercial Hollywood, is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And not just the directors, but also Michelle Ndegeocello has done the incidental music for the series. So the whole idea of having that female kind of thought process and creativity invested into this story, and the way that our community has embraced the beauty of the storytelling, and the fact that you get basically a different director each week, and it's still cinema quality and beautiful and uplifting, I think is really a testament to the commitment.
Now there's still some time. I mean, maybe I need to start a petition. The Queen Sugar Season 1 is coming out on DVD only, which seems criminal to me.
And not streaming?
Well, streaming also, HD streaming, but there's no Blu-ray release. And for a show that shot that well, I would suspect that they would do well if they had it on Blu-ray as well. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on Blu-ray that really doesn't need to be on Blu-ray. But I think, it doesn't need to be crystal clear every single time.
Yeah.
But, that's happening. And then, speaking of women directors, well, people catching up with Shots Fired on BET, which is Gina Prince Bythewood. People, this last episode, people like, wow, what is this? What am I watching here? I kept seeing that showing up, and so that shout out to Gina Prince Bythewood. She also
and her husband Reggie Rock.
Gina directed the pilot episode of Marvel's Cloak and Dagger, which is going to be on the Freeform channel in 2018, formerly ABC Family.
I was going to say, I had dialed back the number of channels that I currently subscribe to, and all this stuff now going out into the greater, pay subscription universe is going to make me go back up to having a bunch of channels that I don't watch on a regular basis except for one show.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to do about that. They're holding everybody hostage with this stuff.
Saying, yes.
Well, 2018. Make sure you have Freeform, formerly ABC Family, because Marvel's Cloak and Dagger is coming out, and the trailer dropped. It got a lot of Twitter buzz.
Well, so hold that, because we're going to talk about trailers dropping and other new announcements about film and TV when we come back for our final segment. So for those of you hanging out with us on Facebook Live, welcome. For those of you listening on the air, online, hang tight. We'll come back with the conclusion of today's Real Black Radio in just a moment.
Paid for by the Pennsylvania Food Merchants Association and the American Beverage Association.
What's the real impact of the Philly beverage tax? Let's ride along with Jason Profeta, employee of a local Philadelphia bottler, as he talks about the Philly beverage tax.
The beverage tax has impacted our jobs severely.
I used to be a sales rep. I had my own route, and now I'm an extra guy, which means I cover guys who either call out or are on vacation. I lost about a quarter of my pay, which really hurts. Before the tax, everything was fine. We were making ends meet.
I've talked to my current and past customers. They lost between 50 and 70% of their business on soda and juices. They're not happy about it. The consumers as well, they're not happy about it either. The tax is hurting the economy. We're blue-collar guys trying to make money, trying to make a living.
It's time to axe the tax. Make your voice heard. Visit axethebevtax.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hi, I'm Frank Thomas. When I was playing ball, they called me the Big Hurt. But after I left the game, Mother Nature started putting a big hurt on me. I just couldn't stay in shape like I used to. Turns out, it wasn't my fault. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone, and that can make it harder to get into shape. But luckily, I found out about Nugenics.
Nugenics is a unique man-boosting formula powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help boost your free testosterone levels. Get a complimentary bottle now by texting PRIME44 to 321321. With Nugenics, you can feel stronger, leaner, with a lot more stamina and energy.
And guys, She'll like the difference, too.
Nugenix is GNC's #1 selling men's vitality product. Get a complimentary bottle now by texting PRIME44 to 321321. Nugenix samples are not available in stores. So again, text PRIME44 to 321321.
Colon cancer. We all know someone who has died from colon cancer, or we all know someone who was diagnosed with colon cancer. Most people hate the PrEP. Colon cancer is preventable. At Blake GI Associates, you don't have to drink the PrEP. We have the Colon Hydro Cleanse. You have your cleanse, you have your colonoscopy, you go home and you feel like you've been to the spa. My name is Dr. J. Stephen Blake, 215-849-4902. Have a great day.
The Lounge with Keaton Nichols. Coming up tonight, don't miss Financial Friday this week and catch Evan Burton's report on weekend activities in Philadelphia. Plus, we've got a pair of Phillies tickets to give away on the show, so make sure you listen in for how to win. Don't miss The Lounge. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. right here on 900 AM WURD and 900 AM WURD.com.
This is Hannibal Lukumbe. You're listening to The Mojo with Stephanie Renee on 900 AM WURD.
You're so fine. Seems to happen to me each and every time we make love. I can't hold back. It's like having 100 million these heart attacks. Damn you, baby, you're so fine.
From the Unpronounceable Symbol album, this is Prince and the New Power Generation with a beautiful number called Damn You.
Yeah, well, you know, I guess it's going to be Prince all day for me, right?
Yeah, well, you know, Prince never leaves my iPod, so okay. I don't need an excuse to listen to his music. And as I told folks when we began the program, I don't generally do death anniversaries. Mm-hmm. I much rather celebrate people on their birthday, the day they came into the world.
Yes,
and do all of that. But because it was like around here last year when the news broke, there were tears, there was all kinds of conversation. And so, it's in this business, you kind of have to acknowledge sometimes these sad commemorations because they affect people. And Prince affected so many people. So many people loved his music. And, it didn't have to be a commercial success. It just had to be good music. And I think he was such a great barometer for that. And that song is one example. We cut it off just before it got into the really funky little instrumental bridge.
Well, they got to hurry up and get that stuff out, because what's on the streaming is not enough. All right, I just want to surprise. This is for me, but I did want to share this with you because I know you're a big fan of Quincy Jones, and in Europe they just released a box set of all of his soundtrack.
Get out!
And it's got like a nice box set. So
you were going to make me go broke. And today's payday.
Well, you can find it. You have to be careful. You can find it fairly because it's dollar strong. You can find it cheap. You just have to shop around. But
oh my goodness!
Well, open it up so people on Facebook Live can see.
This is a must. When I say a must-have, ladies and gentlemen, anybody who knows me knows how I feel about Quincy Jones. Look at this.
So you have 6 discs, and there's at least 2 soundtrack albums on each disc. So
See people on Facebook Live. You get a preview.
You get the Ironside, and I think I'm not sure if Sanford and Son is on there, but just from the pawnbroker, it's survey of his whole career, and a little booklet in there that surveys his whole. It's an interview with Quincy Jones talking about how he got into show business. So
I must have it. This is man.
All right, okay. This is called Dead Air.
I'm sorry. Yes.
So you
should know better than showing me stuff like this and think I'm not going to like look at it. But it's on Decca Records. So you know, for those people who like to go searching around and everything. But my goodness.
Universal Decca. Yeah. So it's official release. You know, so not very very nice, very nicely done. Shout out to Quincy Jones.
Yes.
So Fast and Furious, we weren't on last week. The movie's making a lot of money.
A whole lot of money.
Yeah, so much so that its opening, it was $532 million opening weekend global.
Yeah, did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? $532 million opening weekend worldwide.
So that justifies no more need for like a Tooth Fairy 2 or anything like. I think Rock can be very specific about what he chooses from now on because he has that financial security now.
Yeah, I would like to think so. I wonder, does he negotiate deals like Will Smith does on the back end? So you get Overbrook.
I think everybody does now. I mean, there's no way you can make a fast, because I mean he's a commodity,
right?
Like otherwise, like if people were reneging, if they weren't going to his terms, it would be Fast and the Furious with like Ja Rule,
stop,
Salt and Pepper. You know, they just get.
He's really dissing now.
I like Ja Rule.
But I was going to say, the Fate of the Furious is not the only way that we get a chance to see The Rock on film this summer, because Baywatch opens next weekend, doesn't it?
Is it that soon?
I know it is. It's okay. Kayla J is like, yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess there's no advanced screenings on it, so I'm not.
Because nobody's going to go see it for the plot. Nobody cares about the plot of Baywatch.
Take the money and run, Baywatch.
Nobody's expecting a good story.
So why are you going to go see it? Why do you have your tickets already, Stephanie Renee?
I don't have my tickets already, but will I probably make a date to go out drinking with my girls and then go see it so that we can fully act up in the theater? Absolutely.
So, all right. So you're going to get drunk and go see Baywatch and yell.
Dwayne Johnson in surfer shorts, running on a beach or doing anything.
Okay.
And then Zac Efron as like the little, the aperitif.
See, my brain cells are too precious. I can't put that experience, because that takes up space. I might forget my mother's middle name.
No.
If I go.
That's another wiggle in another part of the brain that doesn't have anything to affect the things I must know.
I'd be like, Ma, what? I'll forget her birthday.
I'm sure there's an ogling space on my brain that's been formed already.
Well, I haven't seen the movie yet. If you want to go see it, go see it. But I just say in general, there's certain things you can't unsee.
That's true.
And some of these Twitter videos and Baywatch the movie would be among that and in the list for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So Fate and the Furious, the 8th installment. Had a huge opening and put F. Gary Gray in the leaderboard for the highest grossing black director of all time.
Well, I just want to remind people that F. Gary Gray started with Friday, which is one of my favorite films of all time. I can probably quote it from start to finish. But it was shot on one square block. And he went from Friday to The Negotiator with Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson. So, I mean, just from film 1 to 2, he had an exponential increase in budget and assistance in terms of the Hollywood feel. And so he's been doing this for now, almost 20 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
1991, so 26 years now.
Yeah, so I mean...
Oh, in 94. It's 94, I think is Friday. But anyway, at the time, people were he'd done a slew of music videos.
Yes, he had.
And he was young, and I think that at the time, he's definitely capitalized on his ride. He's a law-abiding citizen. I mean, he's...
Yes.
Once he's grabbed himself into that action, and
and he did wasn't that he Straight Outta Compton?
Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, so Straight Outta Compton last year. So there's so much. And he's a Cali dude. So the idea of being able to be rooted in California to sort of maintain that vision, that proximity to Hollywood, but not necessarily being of it.
Yes.
But being able to create these big films. It's just kind of wonderful to watch.
Yeah. So him and Tim Story among the highest grossing directors of all time. And I guess we have time for one more. I'll leave Will Smith alone today.
Why? Well, you might as well talk about the hometown dude. Well, in case you all haven't heard, there will be a live action Aladdin, and Will Smith has been tapped to be Genie.
Well, he's in talks.
Yeah. Well, okay, but yeah.
I think somebody's going to talk him out of this, hopefully, because he's done enough magical Negro things already. I don't need him as a rapping.
Now, I hear all of that, but who else is going to come behind Robin Williams and try and do that character? There are very, very, very few people, I think, who even want it, knowing what big shoes they'd have to fill. And I think Will would make it fun.
Okay. Well, again, like Baywatch, that's one I'll be staying home.
I'm not saying I'm gonna go see it. I'm just saying that
Hollywood is devoid of ideas. I'll stay home. I'll watch Henrietta Lacks.
But you can't say Hollywood is devoid of ideas when it comes to these live action Disney films, because this is a purposeful retelling of their body of work.
It's Disney. They just recycle the same stuff. They were the same people that wouldn't put movies out. They put the same movie out every 7 years because they knew kids would cash in. And, and then
I'm saying their business model is solid, and Jungle Book was great. So I'm not saying I'm gonna go see everything. I'm not. I have no intention to go see Beauty and the Beast.
Right. Well,
but Jungle Book was really good.
They haven't even started rolling yet. It's Guy Ritchie, and he's so I like Guy Ritchie. Maybe it's going to take some convincing for me on that one, just because it's not my, obviously if I had kids, let's go see Will, and I dress up in a genie hat and I pretend to be Will and all this stuff, whatever.
Well, but right now you don't know how they're going to treat it, because look at all the talent that they had in Jungle Book: Giancarlo Esposito, Lupita Nyong'o, and you didn't see them. They were in CG. They were the voices of CGI animals. So who knows how they're going to treat
they'll use Will's voice, and he'll be floating.
They could.
Around. Okay, all right.
I'm just saying.
Okay, magical Negro. That's all I'm saying. I know you wanted to talk about Thor.
I'm just saying, for those of you who have not seen the official second trailer, I'm assuming it is, Tessa Thompson from Dear White People and Selma and a bunch of other things is in the new Thor movie. She looks fabulous and powerful, and I can't wait. Idris Elba will be reenacting his role in the series, and Chris Hemsworth is another one that falls in the Rock and Zac Efron category. It's just to see him.
Some more beefcake stuff.
Yes.
All right, you can go see that.
I'm just saying, but it's a Marvel film, so you already know what you're going to get. There's going to be lots of destruction and CGI and everything else.
I'm just curious, Stephanie Renee, who did you have pinned to your wall besides Prince back in high school day?
Oh, man. There was a lot of Michael Jackson. There was a lot of Duran Duran, because I love them.
Duran Duran, okay.
There was a poster that I should not have had of Gregory Harrison, because in Spencer, those of you who remember Spencer Gifts, the store, they had one poster of him fully clothed, and that's where I pulled the poster from. That was not the one that I ended up getting when I got home, and my mom didn't want to make a big deal about it, because nudity wasn't a big deal in my house. So but they drew on basically little Speedos on him.
Yeah, it's odd that you mentioned that. I was going through eBay. He was in a TV movie where he was like a stripper or like a Chippendale guy or something. That movie, it never came out on DVD. That tape goes for a lot of money.
Does it really?
It does.
Yeah, I loved Gonzo from Trapper John MD. I surely did.
Shout out. Well, Gregory Harrison.
Yeah, my walls were very international. Menudo. So it was very We Are the World, beautiful beefcake.
All right, that was in the sign. So last thing, we have a couple minutes. So TV One announced their slate So we can look forward to TV movies about these great musical artists, because I guess New Edition did well for BET. So now that,
even though they fired the people that created it, but that's a whole other conversation.
Right, so starting in the summer of 2017, we can look forward to TV movies about Bobby Christina. One called "Who Can I Run To?" The Escape Story. All This Love, the DeBarge family story.
Where are they going to find enough curly hair, light skinned folks to do that film?
Well, that'll be some interesting casting. Just El DeBarge. They have to really have a good sound person, because they all whispered whenever they did interviews. So
but,
anybody,
there are plenty of folks that look like me, women, on commercials these days. Light-skinned brothers have really not been in for a minute. Well,
DeRay Davis, are you listening?
DeRay Davis is going to be a DeBarge?
I don't know. He's like 40. He could be Daddy DeBarge. But shout out to DeRay, who Grow House is out in theaters.
He light-skinned and with light eyes, so I guess they'll find something for him to do.
All you light-skinned actors, I mean, I don't know if they started shooting that one yet.
Time for a comeback.
You might want to
light-skinned brothers.
Oh, stop! See, that's what got Ari Spears smacked.
What?
That light-skinned, dark-skinned. I'm not into that. I'm a chocolate.
I'm talking about in the acting world. Name
time to discover somebody.
Name a light-skinned male actor that you have seen. Who?
Evan Ross. Evan Ross.
Oh my gosh, shush. You actually said Drake as an actor.
Drake as an actor.
You're about to get put out. And Evan Ross is probably the only one you can think of.
Well, there's some discrimination. Light-skinned brothers, you need to start getting on this, like, audition for
all
some
the Christopher
roles.
Williams plan for your comebacks. Get off the gospel theater stage.
If they're really good, they could. They're doing another Miles Davis, so. So I'm just saying, well, if you're a really good actor, you could get that role.
We're going to stop this because our time is up.
Yeah, our time is up. Anyway, you start with the light skin. That's so inflammatory.
I'm just saying, light skinned women have had plenty of acting opportunities in recent history. The brothers have not.
So you're saying, well, that's a whole code there. But,
yeah,
anyway, to be continued.
Indeed.
Oh, next week, light skinned brother calling in.
You got Rusty.
Rusty Cundiff is going to.
I'm going to try not to gush, ladies and gentlemen, because he really is a long-standing artistic crush of mine.
From Pittsburgh, Rusty Cundiff has promised to join us for the hour. We'll talk about his whole career, from Fear of a Black Hat to Sprung to Tales from the Hood to Chappelle's Show to TV Nation. It should be a fun hour. So.
All of it. So excited. Thank you for hooking that up. And that will conclude today's edition of Reelblack Radio. Thank you to the folks who are checking us out on Facebook Live. We'll do this again, Facebook Living anyway, on Monday. And of course, Mike will be back in studio with us next Friday at 11 a.m. And we hope you will check us out at that time. We're going to take a quick break to pay some bills, and then we'll come back with some more news and information in hour 3 of today's TGIF edition of The Mojo. Take care, y'all.
Tune in to 900 AM